Yep. And they're off.
Alright, this is the longest stage in the game, right?
Yeah, it's agonizing and takes... Oh.
Oh. I know this game. So that was what, Pack Village on to Bare Basics. What kind of basics are we going to see here?
A lot of very simple levels. It's not a very complicated level. It teaches you a lot of the basic movement mechanics and such. PKFrenchi right now just did like a sign bounce that skips a left grab and saves a second, so he has a slight lead over Laser right now.
So you mentioned rev rolls, I believe. I think we're going to be hearing and seeing a lot of them. Can you kind of give us a little once-over on how to do them good?
Alright, so the rev rolls in this game are essentially going to be happening all over... Oh, Laser having some trouble there. So the rev rolls in this game are essentially the main movement mechanic. You're going to be seeing these runners do it as pretty much nearly as much as possible. They add not only to Pac-Man's speed, but they also allow him to navigate certain terrains using slopes, as you can see Frenchy do right there. And overall, we use it for a variety of movement purposes, and as long as these runners don't miss aim, oh, like that. Well, as long as runners don't miss aim, they don't overcharge, they will save a bunch of time. And let's hope Laser can recover from that unfortunate death that he just had right there.
Gets back on their feet though and gets through the level, so moving right on up through the stage.
Alright, Frenchy getting out of Packed Out Pond pretty well. Laser right now is doing waterless, and he gets it with the ledge grab, but it just, waterless just, we try to avoid the pond at the bottom.
And Frenchy now going into the Blinky frog fight. See some nice strats here. You pause the game to basically allow for the iframes Froggy here to happen while the game is paused, and they just keep bouncing back and forth between good old Froggy and the wall, and sets it up for a second time, and as long as we get all the hits in before the frog jumps to the center, we might get a nice one cycle.
French again, the one cycle. So now, Bedouin Woods is not a very seriously complex level. We do get a skip in here that saves about 16 seconds, I believe. We're going to revel off this box, and we're going to be landing on a Bedouin, these trampling things, on a different side of the level, and we essentially just skipped half of it. Did Laser just die in Blinky?
I saw they missed the one cycle, and then I think I looked away for a second, and the boss fight just started over, so that would appear to be the case.
So now with Treewood Forest, these saws right here are running on a universal cycle, like a, yeah, they're running on a universal cycle. So a lot of this level is going to be navigating it fast enough to get the saw cycles to work a lot more in your favor. And when we do those, you're going to be seeing a little bit of damage boosts, and hopefully, oh jeez, Frenchy hitting a saw and almost dying. So hopefully that with these damage boosts, they don't take too much damage, because it's extremely easy to die in this level.
Frenchy getting all the cherries there. What do they win for that?
They're just in the way. They're just in the way.
I bet they taste delicious, though.
Yes, I'm sure they do. Frenchie getting not getting the pacifist strat. He almost did. It looked like he was going for it, but the Pack Cub got knocked in his way, so I don't think he even bothered with it. That's a strat that we can do to knock the bear down, and while the bear is kind of like knocked back from the rev roll, you immediately start a new rev roll to get in the other place and skip killing the bear. Saves a little bit of time, but it's nothing like really crazy.
Now, with Frenchie having the lead right here, there's still plenty that could go on as the race goes on. This is far from over, correct?
Absolutely. There's a lot of things that can happen in this race. Definitely not over till.
So with those platforms Frenchie's dealing with there, I've always seen them. Do they just like set you on fire the moment you step on them, or what do they do?
Okay, so what they do is they do in fact set you on fire, and you're intended to grab a chrome ball. And when you have the chrome ball, you're immune to all normal damage, and you're intended to grab it. We call this chrome ball skip, and you just damage boost your way through it. That being said, though, it's also easy to die at the very end of this level, so hopefully Frenchie doesn't mess up there. Just, okay, he's good. And also, Laser with that death, I feel sorry for him.
Alright, next boss here for Frenchie. We got Inky. Just going to be rolling a whole lot all up and down Inky's machine's body. Just wrecking it. It's got nothing on Frenchie.
Yep, and Frenchie dancing at the end of there.
And things are about to cool down a bit on Frenchie's side, heading into the ice world.
Really?
I mean, there's snow. What do you expect? Okay, so Laser working their way through Chrome Ball Skip now. Go ahead.
Yep. Frenchie doing a little bit more of like the newer ice river run strats with rev rolling off the rocks. That's been like a semi-new development recently. A little bit difficult though. These ice platforms on the side here are also on universal cycles that happen throughout the level.
And with the ice, if you're not rev rolling, you'll basically just get slid back down the course. Is that like if you don't get all the way high enough?
Yeah, the ice is just momentum, so it just accelerates your momentum. So with the rev roll, we obviously get a boost of momentum. If you just run into these though, generally you'll just be fighting with it. It's different than ice in a lot of platformers because in this one it will actively stop you from doing a lot of things. Also, Lasers just can't catch a break. Inky is also kind of just messing with him.
But Laser ain't taking that one. I'm walking away without a fight. Just clears on out, and now they're on to Snow World. I've seen this stage plenty that Frenchie's on. Gotta say, never been a fan of these stages where you can't see where you're going. I imagine dealing with the game a whole lot, though, a lot of these runners are gonna have, like, the way the course looks pretty darn memorized.
Yeah, this level's not necessarily difficult to memorize, because it's actually really not that long. But this game's camera is infuriating, so it doesn't really help the cause of memorizing it. That being said, though, this is still an extremely difficult later level due to the later portion, where we're going to be inside a cave and we're going to be doing a few wind rolls. Now, what these wind rolls are, there's these blowers that kind of blow huge gusts of winds forward. What these runners are going to be doing is we're going to be rev rolling into them, and it will add the momentum from the wind and the rev roll to give you a large boost like that. There are several of these in these levels, and that's what we're going to be doing. I'm sorry. Upcoming is Pab Skip. If you want to figure out what Pab Skip is, ask the community, not us here. After that, this is the cave, and this is our second wind roll. Good job, Frenchie. This one you can skip. This one's a little bit weird because it's so close to the wall. A lot of people don't like doing that sometimes, including myself. And Frenchie's going to be skipping this chain here to save a few seconds over taking that chain. And good on him for taking the safety check. Yep, is this one. He's going to cancel it to get this one specifically. Okay, that was pretty good. Now, the final one being the most difficult and easily the one that kills the most runs. Oh, that sucks. Yeah, poor Frenchie. And that's the thing, though. When you're sent airborne, there's nothing you can do about it. So you just gotta take the punch.
So basically, in this last section, you start up a rev roll, and once you get in the air, you have no control. So you just better hope you set it up right.
Yep. And then the ice that he goes on by the time he hits the wind also adds more to that momentum, so it just makes it even more harder to set up, of course.
And Laser just tried to do one of those wind skips you were talking about and fell short, tried to back it up, and then from where they landed could not get back onto hard ground, and unfortunately takes another death.
Yeah. Laser just can't catch a break right now. So now, upcoming is Bling Mountain. This level is simple in the thought process behind its execution. Actually executing it efficiently is a different story. The goal here is essentially to be moving forward as straight as possible. Laser is getting a little bit messed up by these rev ramps. Yeah, no, that was extremely sketchy. Yeah, I figured that wasn't working. And then he gets stuck by the invisible land there. He doesn't die faster. But anyways, Bling Mountain the goal is to go as straight as possible for as long as possible to keep building up speed. That's very difficult to do in this level because there's a lot of twists and turns and a lot of pits all over the place and ramps. So this level specifically is actually really difficult to optimize. That ramp that Frenchie just passed, you can actually skip by jumping off the side of it, but he didn't have enough speed and therefore didn't go for it. Which is good because that one's actually one of those like small time savers that if you mess up, it's not really doesn't make up for the time you potentially lose. So you'll lose a lot if you mess up.
Laser's been getting some nice wind boosts here. Almost falls off and then grabs the chain and says, I'm out.
My goodness. I'm very surprised to see grab that ledge. And Frenchie gets out of Bling Mountain. Let's see how Laser does. So now Frenchie's on the third boss of the game. It's very similar to Inky. Just the later phases, we have to hit them 3 times instead of 2 times per phase. Therefore, we have to do extra rev roll. But otherwise, it's a very simple fight.
Get some victory revs in, and now heads into the volcano. One of my favorite little touches about this game is this stage in particular, how we were just in the ice level, and now we're going into the volcano. And just the fact that, like, early on in the stage, it's a little icy, and so you can kind of see, like, the remnants of, hey, we were in Snow World, and now we're going into Lava Land. So I think it's a nice little art design.
Okay. So, actually, in ITV, really tests the strength of the rev roll with the slopes that you can kind of rev roll off of. This is one of those levels that take the most advantage of it.
Seeing some nice close ledge grabs here and there from both runners today.
Yeah. Alright, so upcoming is the first major skip in this run. VP skip. So now, essentially what we're going to be doing here is we're going to be rev rolling out of bounds. And we're going to be traversing out of bounds on a plane of lava and make our way to the level complete goal. Now this is not necessarily a very difficult trick in terms of like the way it works. In execution, it's a little difficult because it primarily revolves around how long you keep the chrome ball timer for. And if you don't move fast enough to keep the chrome ball timer in check, you're not going to make it. We rely on that chrome ball timer to navigate the lava plane. And also, Frenchie got 0% in Volcanic Panic, so ran into the level.
So in that part where they're going across the plane of lava and consistently hopping, does that hopping make you go faster? Or is it to avoid death planes or something? What's going on there?
Both. Because you move slower on the lava, and as the longer you stay in the lava, it drags you down. So it's both, really.
I thought it was lava, not quicksand.
Welcome to Pac-Man World 2. This must be your first time here. A lot of design choices sometimes in this game don't make a whole lot of sense in some ways. Coming up on Frenchie's side, slide skip. With this stage, we have the slide at the end that's very difficult to control and loses a lot of time to control it. But luckily, all this is loaded, so we can just jump off and land on different parts of the slide, and then jump right into level complete.
And over on Laser's side, let's see how they handle VP skip.
And while that's happening, I'm going to explain Clyde. On Clyde's left eye, he has collision. So what Frenchie just did right there is called an I bounce. And then what he just did there was a rev jump. When you rev roll and you jump mid rev roll, you jump a little bit higher. And that allows him to jump high enough to hit Clyde's cockpit. Keep in mind, this is very difficult to do consistently. Just in general, Clyde is one of the more difficult bosses in this game. And also the hitbox of the cockpit gets smaller and smaller with each phase that passes by. So this is easily one of the biggest run killers in the game. But Frenchie gets an insanely good Clyde. That was really good for a tournament race.
You said the left eye has collision. Does the right one not?
I don't believe so, no.
So do you think when the devs of this game made it, do you think the right eye got patched?
No. Also, wow, that really bad angle off the wall from Laser, dropping right into lava, which is an insta-kill if you don't have Chrome. Alright, so with Scuba Duba and then next level Shark Attack, there's not really a lot. It's an on-the-rails water level. The explosives surrounding this level, they serve as obstacles, but we can use them for speed. When you take damage and you rev roll into the sides of these mines and or missiles and or explosive cans that fall from the surface, you can actually get what we call a mine boost, and it just boosts Pac-Man forward. Depending on your timing and how many explosives take place, those all will affect the boost.
Real quick, Laser taking an unfortunate death on Clyde here. Tried to, I think, get a rev jump and just went straight down off Clyde. Is there any rhythm to the pressing that Frenchie's doing to get those little spin swims?
Nope. Just mash the B button. The only time you're going to be doing it with a specific timing in mind is when you're setting up for a mine boost. Otherwise, you're really just pressing the button a bunch and a bunch and a bunch and a bunch.
Laser taking another death trying to watch their health not fall off, and unfortunately the lava takes them one more time.
Laser is just getting really messed up by.
And you could just get a decent idea of how nasty that hitbox gets with how many bounces Laser was doing on top of Clyde, and none of them were actually doing any damage.
Hopefully Laser doesn't get a worse run than I did my last race.
Laser says enough's enough, and Clyde goes down. So if I understand correctly, this part in the water area is where the run really picks up, right?
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
I mean, we get to ride in a submarine. Isn't that epic?
Sure. Sit tight for the next 8 minutes, folks.
So, Laz, what's your favorite part of Yellow Pac Marine?
The pew pew gun. Halfway through the level, we get these guns that go on top of the ship, and we get to shoot them for 4 minutes, if you can keep them.
And the little ghosts that come, the little submarines that come in and attack you. Are those ghosts that are driving them?
Correct. Same thing with the crab enemies.
Gotcha. I don't know why, but because I always saw them from the back and never saw their face, I just pictured them all a bunch of knuckles coming in to attack you.
Nice.
I mean, it kind of looks like the back of his head. Just red, round. That's all it needs. All you need. And Laser's starting off in a shark attack. Between the first two water levels, which one do you typically go for more mind boosts in? Is there one, or are they just kind of blend together and no one?
Shark Attack has more explosives and a lot more convenient patterns, like in clusters, so it's easier to get mind boosts in Shark Attacks, in my opinion.
I think I just saw Frenchie miss a cherry there. That's a shame. Got that one, though. I guess they think their fruit basket's already full. Then again, do you really want fruits that have just been submerged in water? Like this deep under the ocean? There's probably some contamination going on.
Probably a lot more than just simple contamination going on.
Oh, was this that pew pew gun you were talking about?
Correct.
Yeah, looks pretty fun. So does taking damage make you drop the pew pew gun?
Yeah, same thing with the bomb that he carries, so that you they essentially act as like extra health wedges.
Any idea if anyone's ever tried this stage blindfolded before?
I think I have, maybe. It's not fun unless you know where all the pipes are, but like this entire level just blends together mentally.
Can you get stuck on the pipes, or does the game just push you through them and you take damage?
It pushes you through them and you take damage. Another thing about taking damage in this submarine is that when you take damage, you'll spin around rapidly. If you actually fire missiles, the missiles will fire in the direction Pac-Man is facing when you fire them. So if you just spam missiles, you're literally just going to be shooting them upwards, downwards, and in random directions. Well, not random technically, but you get the idea.
Ooh, all the oranges. That's exciting. Can some of the missiles get shot like towards the camera? Like, could this have been like the perfect opportunity to put on your 3D glasses?
No.
No, I've heard there's some RNG to the spawning to this stage. Are the pipes locations consistent, though?
Yes, they are. The pipes and the mines are consistent. What's not consistent is some fruit and token drops, and the way enemies behave depends on you. But otherwise, everything else is consistent. So now, this is another really tough boss fight in this game. We're at Mega Whale. Now, there's 4 propellers on this thing. Each one takes 9 hits to shoot off. Typically, what you're supposed to be doing is you're supposed to take out one, then move on to the next phase, take out another, and so on and so forth. A long time ago, there was found out that you can do 2 cycles, but a little bit ago, we found out that we can do 1 cycles. So really, we're going to be taking out all these propellers in one phase, and it's an extremely difficult trick that takes a lot of practice, and let's hope that both these runners can get it. Ooh, he missed the top left one. Wait, no, he missed top left and something else. I can't really tell. But he only took 2 of the 4 propellers out.
So from getting 2 propellers, how easy is it to 2 cycle?
Depending on which ones you get. In this situation, bottom right and top left, have fun. Have fun. It's not very simple. And with the bombs and the positions of Mega Whale moving all over the place, it gets difficult really quickly.
And do you stay in the same phase until at least one propeller gets knocked out, or can Mega Whale run away and come back without a propeller?
I haven't seen anybody wait forever, but I'm pretty sure it stays on the same phase.
Oh, banana.
Yes.
And this is where the run starts to get a little scary.
So, Haunted Boardwalk, very similar concept to Bling Mountain, except with a little bit tighter platforming, and you don't accelerate nearly as fast. And your top speed is a lot slower. But still, though, this is a very difficult level sometimes. In some areas, the platforming gets very intimidating, I guess would be the word for it. But still, the gist of it is to go in as much of a straight line as possible at all times.
Yeah, and once Frenchy there got past the first checkpoint now, in this next section of the level, the platforms start falling, so gotta keep on moving. And past this next checkpoint, the next section, the pieces aren't falling anymore, right?
Not until slightly after now.
And lasers out of Pac-Marine, time for them to take on Mega Whale. Looks like Laser got 3 propellers off in that first cycle.
Yeah, he's going to be saving a good chunk of time over Frenchy with that fight.
So are there any real, like, interesting call-outs for night crawling? This stage that Frenchie's on?
Not necessarily. There is like a universal platform cycle, but otherwise this stage is like back to how World 1 is. Just like pure movement, really. Nothing, no gimmicks or anything, just go right through. I mean, you do need fruit to open that Bedoin, but, like, really? No, it's really just pure movement, know where you're going.
Yeah, so this makes this stage the only one in any percent where fruit is required.
Correct.
Just looked over Laser's side, took a death, fell in the water there. Trying to see what part of the stage they're in at this point.
Looks like after the first checkpoint. So now Frenchie's going to be in Ghost Bayou, which is the level we'll do the last major skip in. What we're going to be doing is we're going to be going under this bridge, and we're going to be following the path backwards. And once we do that, we go back and hit a switch to unlock a Pac-Chain, and then we go to the end level. This takes like a, normally this level takes like, what is it, 5-6 minutes if you don't do this? Wait, what is Frenchie doing? What?
Did they just take an alternate route to the switch?
What? Yeah. What was that? I've never seen that. Is that like a really new thing? That it did not save any time. That is definitely correct. What? Laser? Laser just. Why Laser just laser forfeit? That's unfortunate. Well, thank you, Laser, for participating in the race.
Alright, and on Frenchie's side, we got Spooky, which... Was it, like, after you get through every cycle, it's faster to kill yourself?
Yes, we do stun locks, which just as name implies. We hit him, and then we just we are able to keep hitting him before he moves away. And when we're done with those, we typically kill ourselves to end the phase and restart it again. But Frenchie's not really getting down any of these stun locks, unfortunately. And finished.
GG.
44-30 from Frenchie.
For a tourney run, would you say that's a pretty solid time?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Under 45 minutes in general is a solid time. So for a tournament race, absolutely.
Sometimes in this cutscene, I feel like the dog only has 3 legs because his 4th one's hiding behind one of his front legs, and it throws me off for a second. So I think it's like a tripod dog.
Tripod chomp chomp. See if we can get him in here for commentary.
Hello.
Hi.
What is up?
Doing good. GG on that race. How you feeling?
Good. A little sad that it turned out like that. I know Laser's been working really hard, so and I don't know. I'm kind of disappointed that I wasted the Clyde, but overall, I'll gladly take a 48.4 on a race. So happy with that right now.
Well, I'm glad you are. It's definitely a solid time, and there was a lot of parts where you played very well.
No, yeah, I think if I hadn't done an AA, maybe gotten a 2 cycle, that would have been a 43. But overall, good run. What happened to Laser? Just curious, because I wasn't keeping up with it.
All right. So a lot of Laser's run was extremely difficult for him, and really, over time, it just got worse and worse. And in the middle of Haunted Boardwalk, I think he was about to die like a second or third time. He just exit level and just stopped.
I see. Nah, 100 Boardwalk is... If you die, you lose a lot of time, so it just piles up. Oh, yeah, but GG's. Tomorrow we have Jets and Nacho, right? So
Yeah, I believe so. That's going to be a good one.
yeah, it's gonna be good. And then after that, it's just gonna be. I play the winner of that, and then there's no more matches anymore. Like, other than like, oh, this is to go against frogs, right? And then that's it afterwards. So then you pick McKitty, and then yeah. So we only have like 4 matches left, unless resets happen at the grand finals. But no, GG's.
Yeah.
Thanks for the commentary. I appreciate it.
No problem. Xander, did you have any questions, really?
Trying to think of a random question. How do you pass the time going through Pac-Marine? How do you make those 8 minutes fly?
A lot of it depends. Usually, like if I'm streaming, right, and my chat's active and I have people to talk to, that helps it go by. The thing is, like, sometimes you get really distracted, and then you actually get to like the point where you have like no help, and then you So you still have to sort of pay attention to what you're doing, or else you can't get into a bad situation. But if I'm doing like offline runs, usually I'll just like watch YouTube videos while making a pass, or just like another stream. But like this time, I was just like, I think they were helping someone new in the Discord. So since I had nothing to do in the time, and I didn't want to look at the stream because I didn't know how far ahead I was. Because I closed the chat after they told me to stop talking, so then I just went to the Discord, and then I just passed the time there trying to help and see what was going on with one of the new runners.
Okay.
Fair enough. Whatever gets you through it. It's one of those things I get curious about when I watch runs of this.
No, yeah, I mean, you get used to it. Like, sometimes it's like a good break between the intense runs, especially after like that Clyde. I was kind of sweating because I haven't gotten a 43 since I came back, so I'm like itching to like at least get a 43 recently. So I was like, I can do it now, but then of course 3 cycle happened. But I am. GG's. Thanks a lot for the commentary. Appreciate it a lot.
No problem. Good race. I hope to best of luck to you in the rest of the tournament.
Coming back for frogs is not true. I've been practicing a lot, so
Those will be good races.
Definitely going to be really interesting seeing how the rest of this tournament plays out. But yeah, GG to both runners. Really appreciate both of them sticking through as far as they got. This great run to watch. Really appreciate letting me commentate it. So thanks so much, everyone.
Have a good day.
Yep. And with that being said, this is the end of today's race. I hope you all had a great time watching it. And we'll see you next time when we do our next race. Have a wonderful day.
Have a good one. Bye.